So here we are again, chaps. Here we are talking about a potentially award-winning book called How to Be a Wellbeing, Unofficial Rules to Live Every Day. Really proud of the book. I like it all. I think it's got, obviously, the clues in the title. It's kind of basically 22 rules that how you can live life in the modern world. Life as it is, like today, not life as it used to be, but life when it's full on. And one of my faves, Pouli, is Uncle Lazarus, and I can't claim to even know Uncle Laz. Give us a potted summary of that chapter for me, sir.
Yeah, so it's my favorite chapter, perhaps, of the whole book, mostly because of the story, but also it's the topic of a TED Talk that I did, which is how I got connected to you, Andy. You know, you watched my TED Talk and tweeted it, and that's how we got connected. So Uncle Lazarus was my father's brother. He was 15 years older than my father, so he was much older than my dad. And I visited him in the summer of '86, spent a wonderful week with him on vacation.
This was in Greece, wasn't it? In Greece,
in Greece, yep.
Yeah.
In the village where everyone grew up, and he never really left. And Uncle Lazarus was a miller. He ran a mill, a wheat mill. He was a merchant. He owned his own store. He was a musician. He had a band that he used to go and play music at weddings. Very successful as a musician, by the way. Very good. And he was a moonshiner. He made this stuff called raki, which is like ouzo, but doesn't taste as good, if you can imagine.
Well, ouzo is pretty rough.
It's pretty rough.
Raki,
so
yeah.
we had a great time together, and I realized that I saw in him an older version of me. I just felt like he and I were on the same wavelength, and I left the village in tears, and he stayed in the village in tears, and I said, I'll be back. This is great. We're going to do this again and again and again. And then 22 years passed, and I never went back to visit my Uncle Lazarus. I talked to him a few times on the phone during that time, but life kind of got away from me. I got married, started my career. So many things happened. There were so many reasons why it didn't happen, but no good excuses. And the day that he passed away, I felt this gut punch of mourning, well, of course, but shame and anger that I hadn't kept in touch with him, that I hadn't done what I said I was going to do. And it was this sense of regret at not continuing that conversation, continuing that story, if you will. And so in that chapter in the book, we talk about why regret is such a powerful positive and negative event, right? It's a negative event when you look back and regret things that you didn't do, but it perhaps is a positive lesson to try to think about your life in a way that you're picking the best story to go forward with, right? So when given a choice, I tell people life is about the stories you can tell. If I'm going to go this way or that way, what's the better story that I'm going to look back on? And the regrets are the echoes of the stories you can't tell. So for me, the stories I can't tell about my Uncle Lazarus, learning more about his music, learning more about making raki was one of the things I wanted to learn from him, was how to make my own and do it here. All these things that other people were able to tell as stories because they kept in touch with Laz. I didn't. And so I've taken that very seriously after that point in time, not to leave things unsaid, not to leave things undone.
Well, very powerfully told just then, and even more powerfully in the book. So thanks, Pouli.